Hello guys, welcome back. I know I don't have the lights on. I'm okay. It is cold now. It's so cold. When I get up, I put the lights on and they're on for like say maybe like a good hour or so, and then I get warm and toasty, but then you turn them off and it's a cold day again because this world can't make up its mind. It's like, nah, in fact, it's gonna freeze one day this week and it might snow. And yeah, it's really great. So I had an experience last night where I'm trying to make my peace with everything. I don't see any doom on the horizon, but I'm at the age where you just want to be content with everything and be able to settle down into your studies. I I just want to be able to do that. And I was talking to God. Yes, I know. And I'm talking to God. And one of the names in the Bible that comes from the Hebrew scriptures is, we would say Shaddai. And I'm talking to him because that's my favorite pet name for him. I believe it translates to shadow if I remember. So Shaddai, Shadow. Something like that, if I remember. I'm not confusing my Hebrew. It's been a while. Um, and I'm talking to him, and there at the time I was still reading my Bible and still trying to be a Christian. There are like shadow trees, so I would spend a lot of time talking to God. This is a deity I spent a huge amount of my life with, so it's kind of weird that once you become a pagan, people are like, nope, not talking to him again. Yeah, but we used to like sit in my garden and talk to each other and reason things out. And not like God was telling me everything to do with my life. I know there are people that get extreme, and you can get extreme when you do not find your proper place, but we used to talk a lot. I'm talking to him last night, and the translation we would use and the translation we used in Hebrew scriptures was we used Sophia, though I think Leonard Nimoy just did a thing on it. It was like there's a pronouncement of Shaddai that's the feminine. And I'm not going to even pretend to know it because it just went out of my mind. And I felt like she was near the bed, and I'm like, this is interesting. And it wasn't like we're judging you. It wasn't like, oh, get ready because we're taking you to the temple, and boy, have you got stuff to explain for it. No, it was nothing like that. It was like, you're talking to us. You're talking to us. And then I'm like, I made it up in my head. I made it up in my head. It didn't happen. I come on today and Leonard Nimoy is explaining this. That symbol? He's explaining that symbol because and then he tells you the story, and I can even give you guys a link to the video because it's a real beautiful explanation. And you're basically blessing people when you're doing that sign to them. So you know how some people are picking it up as a sign to do because we're no longer shaking hands or shouldn't be? Yeah, it's that. Some people are doing like the Wakanda forever sign, whatever works for you, do that. Um and as he's talking about it, he starts to say Shaddai and that, and I'm like, God is answering me. Like he answers fast. And I told him I just want to be at the point where I can make peace with all my gods. And God himself, I don't have a problem with. The unstable maniac in the Bible, I can't relate to, but God himself, I don't have a problem with. The God I dealt with was always calm, always comforting. Never saw him fly off the handle once. Never saw him really get very upset over anything. I was talking to him last night, and I'm like, I'm talking to him today too before I came in, and this video's in my feed, and I'm like, I get everybody else's response. Every other god, anyone I talk to, even angels, demons, whatever, were like, hey, we love you, but this is a time this has to happen. As terrible as it sounds, it's not a punishment. But you're an old enough species, you're an educated enough species. You can do this. We can't keep coming in and saving you, And every time we've had a tragedy, it's actually been a human-based tragedy. Anything that's happened terrible in human history, that's been humans doing it, with the exception of earthquakes and other natural disasters. It's usually been humans doing it. So, and they're like, that's why we're not stepping in. You've got to learn your lesson at some point, and this is just going to have to run its course. And I'm talking to God today, and I'm like, well, what would your response be? Because angels seem to say it, everyone else seemed to say it. And being reminded of Jewish history, which is the most depressing history on the planet, it kind of reminded me that, yeah, humans do cause all the problems in the world, but they also solve them too. There are a lot of good people left in the world, thankfully. There are people that took their stimulus check because hopefully they do not need it, and they are donating it to people. They are donating it to food banks. They are giving it to restaurants where they know they can't afford to pay the workers. They are doing other stuff with it. Now, that's not to tell you go give your check to people. I gave my check to my bank account because I had to. But it is saying that, people are being generous. I mean, we're giving back by donating all of our Bing points until forever, until they finally tell us it's over. I'm like, oh, I don't need that $5 gift card that bad. We'll be okay. But, there are still good people. And as people are causing this, people can help cure it too. We can help cure it by going out as little as possible. We can help cure it by social distancing. We can help, you know, cure it, lessen the surge rather by, wearing gloves or masks or whatever you think is prudent to wear in public. I want a full-on plague doctor costume because I'm done playing at this point, but nobody's giving me the funds for that. The gods are like, no, you don't need one. You're weird. But, we will get through this. And people are trying to, make masks, make face shields, and people are donating money, and people are trying to work towards a cure. You have people in every country in the world trying to work towards a cure and work towards a vaccine. And it will come. We just have to be patient. But, those of us that are staying at home can feel like we're doing nothing. But we're doing the hard part. We're doing the hard part. Being kind of pushed to remember there are a lot of parts in the Bible where God's answer, and I know we're pagans, but it's a useful tool, and we should not be afraid to use it, of the only answer you can give people is to wait. And the people of Israel are like, they're going through something. If you read the Bible, they're going through some kind of terrible disaster, and God's like, wait. And they're like, but you're God. You have to solve it now. And God's like, no, you have to wait. And they have to go through like droughts, and they're starving, and he sends them bug eggs to eat. Yeah, they figured out what manna is. It's not candy. It's insect eggs. And they're going through all this stuff, and they're going through all these trials and tribulations. God's like, wait, because he's like the slowest moving God in existence. He just is. He moves when it's time for him to move. And the only thing I got from that was this feeling of, from talking to him last night and working today, was this feeling of there is love and compassion there, but we have to wait. Things will get better, but, we're at the stage as a species that, yes, we all want it solved instantly, but we're at the stage of a species where we could really be doing, a lot more. Some of us are doing the most we can now. We're staying inside, we're trying not to order all the toilet paper in the world ever, or all the hand sanitizer in the world ever. I'm lucky that, I grew up in a family where we never had much, so I have like hand sanitizers probably from the 90s, and they're still sealed. So I have been hoarding my little hoard of, those useful hand sanitizers they put in packages and everybody would throw them out. We'd always save them. Well, I have them now. So, it's just a thing of we will get through this, guys, and we're already trying to look forward towards the fall and plan for that. Obviously, you're not usually in a financial place to stockpile everything now, but, a little bit at a time, put a tiny bit of food away, put a tiny, canned goods, something's gonna last. Put a tiny bit of, when you finally get to it, toilet paper or whatever away. And then, if it comes in the fall, then everybody's ready. But we'll have months to do it. It won't be like we all have to go out to the store today and buy now. So, it was interesting. And I try to share that with you guys because I think there's a huge pressure in the pagan community that you have to do it this way to be a good pagan. And to me, it's like, this is a god I spent decades with. And I never had a problem with the god. I'm getting like chills now. I never had a problem with the god. I had a problem with theology surrounding the god because he didn't seem very warlike. I think you could poke him with a stick and he wouldn't do much of anything, though I don't recommend you do that because that's mean. But, he just never seems like most people say he is. And I appreciate Leonard Nimoy was talking about this, kind of frightening and intense blessing, on the people. And they weren't supposed to look at this one point because as the Spirit of God comes through, the feminine Spirit of God that's active in the world and with humans, as she comes through, she can kill you, not on purpose, but by accident because she's that strong. She can, whoops, it happens. So, and he's both reverent and then he's kind of like, I've never gotten the idea of whether he's actually Jewish or whether he's a Jewish atheist. I've never really figured that out. And he's like, oh, I survived. I'm like, you're damn lucky you survived. I remember all the people that had, when we study Hebrew scriptures, we went to, they took us to a temple. Finally took us to a synagogue. And we're all fucking terrified because all the Christians are thinking about is the Indiana Jones thing where they touched the Ark of the Covenant, and we're all like, please don't kill us. We're so sorry about what happened to your people. And we're terrified. And the rabbi is this rabbi in this deep red dress, and it's like plunge cut to here, and it's like slit up to here. I've never seen a rabbi like this before or since. Female. It wasn't that progressive of a, synagogue. And she's sitting her butt up on where they put the holy book, where they put the Torah. And you can see the Catholics, and even though I was trying to tend towards paganism already, just kind of start to weave like this, like we're all gonna fall down, like it's come true, we're all going to die, and we're all going to die now. And the Catholics are actually looking up like, please don't hurt us. And she's like, what are you afraid of? Are you afraid of God? And all the Catholics said yes simultaneously. And she laughed. So yeah, good times, good times. Catholics are afraid of God. We're taught from a young age. God loves you, but that temper, man. He laughed her back here. But, I said, it's nothing to be ashamed of. And I'm sure there are quite a few pagans at this point that are going and talking to God and saying, let's be real, why are you doing this? Because if you were brought up Catholic, Christian, maybe Jewish or Muslims do it as well, I wouldn't know. But, you go back to your childhood deity from time to time, which I think you should. I think it would be the same thing if you were brought up pagan and then you converted to Christianity. I'm sure you would go back and talk to the old gods from time to time. And I had a chain of thought there and it just wandered away. But you do go back to talk to them from time to time, and I don't think pagans should be ashamed of that because, it's natural. That's the God you formed the first bond with. And when I told them all that last night, because they're all getting kind of grumbly, they all calmed down. They're like, oh. I said, he's not your replacement. He was first. Oh, okay. I'll just be second, then I'll be in the corner. No one will love me. Oh, will you please not do this? So, you can guess who that was. Starts with L, ends with Okie. I'll just be your second God, and you don't have to love me because I was at first. I hate you. Were you at my baptism? So, God, how do you hit those notes? I don't really know. But, Loki didn't take it well. But I think sometimes it's like they think we expect them. to whine and fuss, so they do. But I'm just at the point where I'm trying to make peace with God, but it still is because of how bad the church was and how toxic the church teachings and how toxic the Bible was because, I said I felt this call from God. I'm still at the stage of trying to get all that negative garbage out of me and trying to find the God without all of that baggage. And it can be done, and you do it for longer and longer periods, and then you see some kind of crazy nonsense posted on Pinterest about how it's okay to die from coronavirus, but dying without Jesus is the real shame, and you're like, yeah, that just undid all my progress. So it's a thing. And I don't think you should be ashamed to talk to your old gods or goddess or whomever you worked with. I think it's just paganism has its share of fundamentalists just like any other ism. Atheism has it, Catholicism has it, any kind of brand of Christianity has it. There are, a fundamentalist and extremist in all religions or spiritualities, and you cannot talk reason with them. Don't even try. They are not live and let live. They are everybody live the way I say or else. So, if you guys like what you see, like, comment, subscribe, and we will see you later. Bye bye.